Good afternoon, colleagues.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Sorry for that. We have about 50 people that signed up, but there's only 11 people in the group. I'm just going to give it another minute or so, and then we're going to start. We're just showing our faces for now, but then I will switch off my camera, and then we'll move forward. But maybe we can just do the introductions now already. I'm Isabel Rousseau. I'm the head of the postdoctoral office here at the Division for Research Development. And today I am joined by Ms. Sindiswa Mzizi for this presentation. So we'll just give it another minute and then we will start. Thank you. Okay, colleagues, so we will start. The session are being recorded, so if there's anybody that's missing it, they can just, we will see the slides and the recording afterwards as well. Once again, thank you for joining us for this second information session of the postdoc office. As I said, the presenters is myself and Ms. Sindiswa Mzizi. Today we will look at the postdoc appointment process. And in the previous session, we have covered an overview of the postdoc office and what we do. So should you need a copy of the presentation of the first information session, we will gladly share that with you. Just starting, I'll just repeat what I said in the first slide. I'm joined by Sindiswa Mzizi for today. This is our second session for the year. Our first session is pre-recorded and that is available on request for you. In that first session, we basically said what the office is doing. And in today's session, we will look into greater detail into the new postdoc appointment process. So just setting the scene for today, I will give you a brief overview of the first information session that we have shared. After that, we will look into how do I appoint a postdoc, because that is one of the questions that we get most oftenly at our office. And then we will look at the overview of the postdoc appointment process. And then we will share with you some documents and information that is available that we use during this process. And then after that, we will look into just bits and pieces of information that we will share with you that are relevant to the office today. And then we will open the floor for questions and for answers. I would just like to check with you guys. Can you see my slides? Okay. Yes, you can see it. Okay, thank you. So just a brief overview, as I said, that is what we based our information sessions on is the 3 C's concept. In the beginning of this year, we have decided to, as a postdoc office, to be more visible. And through that, we want to connect and communicate and collaborate with all our stakeholders. And that stakeholders will be the researchers, the postdocs, as well as the administrative and professional staff at the various faculties. So throughout the year, we will have some more information sessions. We have about 7 of these sessions where we will see a particular process that we attend to on our office at a daily basis. So this is the team. This is the team. The team is Sindiswa Mzizi, and she is responsible largely for the postdoc appointment process, one of the main processes that we deal here with at the postdoc office. Then we have Joan, who is responsible for postdoc payments. And then on the other end, we have myself that oversee the postdoc office, and I provide support with, to Sindiswa and to Joan. And the academic community and to the postdocs as well. So if there's any questions, our email addresses are there, and we will share the general email address of the postdoc office as well. That is postdocinfo@sun.ac.za, but that will become we will share in a later slide with you. Just the question that we get most often is, how do I appoint a postdoc? But before we move on to that one, I think it's important to state that what is a postdoc? Because together with how do I appoint a postdoc, we also get the question, what is a postdoc? So a postdoc is not a student, and it's not a staff member. Postdocs are professionals in their own right. They have completed their PhD qualification, and they are now embarking on a research period for themselves. They're basically similar to early career academic researchers. That is what they do, and they are appointed as postdoctoral research fellows. And the reason why they are appointed as postdoctoral research fellows is because the stipend that they receive is a tax-free stipend. You and me, staff members at University of Stellenbosch, we pay tax to SARS. But these postdoc researchers, they do not pay tax. Apologies, they do not pay tax to SARS. They receive a tax-free stipend, but they do, however, receive that stipend on a monthly basis. So we are focusing on the 7-step process, basically, and that is the process that will tell you how to appoint a postdoc. We will share with you later as well the Stellenbosch University postdoc policy. In that postdoc policy, it's in detail described how to appoint a postdoc and what steps you should follow to appoint a postdoc. So this, what we are doing today, is just a brief summary of that information that is shared in the postdoc policy. So just important, the first step, this is the 7-step process. You can see it on the screen, and we will then now go through each of those steps individually. So the first step, we said, is secure funding. So the funding can be secured in various ways. That can be secured by the postdoc or by the host. The postdoc can apply, for example, to a funder or to the NRF directly, and then the postdoc will be the grant holder. In other cases, if we continue with the NRF example, the postdoc can be linked to a project of the host, and we then call that a grant holder postdoc, which means the postdoc have secured the position for him and herself. The postdoc have applied through an advertisement and is now linked to that particular postdoc, to that particular host. And then we move on to the advertisement process, which is also an important step. People many times ask us, why should I appoint this? Why should I advertise this postdoc position? But as we will move later, you will see everything of the postdocs falls under the Stellenbosch University postdoc policy, as well as the SARS binding class ruling. The next step would be for the person to be interviewed and selected, and that will happen at the departmental level, and that is usually done by the host, and that committee should comprise of at least the host and someone else, just 2 or more people in that process. Then from there, after that was done successfully, the host will then inform the postdoc office of the successful candidate, and after that we will get in contact with the candidate, and we will assist the candidate with the necessary documentation and information that that person need. Following that will be the onboarding process. That is currently where we make use of Sun Student. And finally, the payment and Intellimali process will also take place. So today we are not covering the IntelliMali process. So we're just looking at we will just be looking at the first 6 steps on how to appoint a postdoc. So moving on to the next slide, this is where the process is just described in more detail. This is usually the document that we share when we receive inquiries. This document is also available on our SharePoint link, and the information then I will share with you later, and it's also available in the slides. Yes. Moving on. So the first step we said in the postdoc appointment process is where funding must be secured. I already said that funding can be secured by the postdoc, by the host or the host department, or the postdoc can be self-funded. The example again of the NRF, or we also have postdocs that are, for example, getting funding from other funders, and this is where the postdoc have applied to secure the funding for themselves, and the award is in the name of the postdoc. Next is where the host applied for the postdoc position. And then, where the host applied for the funding, and then the host will move through with the postdoc advertisement process. So in the case where the postdoc have applied for the postdoc funding, there is no need for an advertisement, because in terms of the SARS binding clause ruling, the person have already then went through a competitive process to secure the funding or to secure the fellowship. In essence, what SARS wants is, they call it the open bursary scheme. They want to ensure that the person have competitively secured this funding. And then self-funded, when a person is self-funded, we usually want a letter for our records to say that why the person, the postdoc would be self-funded, and what that source of self-funding would be. Just sitting on the section, secure funding, another question that we get oftenly is, what is the minimum amount of a fellowship and what is the maximum amount of a fellowship? Currently, the minimum amount at Stellenbosch University is 200,000 Rand per year, but we are aiming for 300,000 Rand per year for all postdocs. And I would think that all of you would understand why we are going for 300,000 Rand, because these are professionals. And also, if we take into account the cost of living in South Africa and especially in Stellenbosch. So if you are awarded a fellowship of 200,000 Rand, we would encourage you and your host to seek up top-up funding from other sources, so that you can at least be on the preferred minimum of 300,000 Rand per year. Also, there's soft cap that we call, that's the maximum per annum, that's a soft cap. It is 400,000 Rand per year, but with permission and approval from Prof. Sibusiso Moyo, who is our DVC Research, Innovation and Postgraduate Studies. That amount can be more. So postdocs can earn more than 400,000 Rand per year. And that is after they have received the necessary approval for that. So as I said, once you have secured the funding, the next step would be to advertise the position. And the position must be advertised because, as we said, in terms of the SARS binding clause ruling, for open bursaries, these positions must be advertised, and this is also regulation at Stellenbosch University, and that is stipulated within the postdoctoral policy. What we have also seen is people want to skip this step many times, but we do advise and recommend, and as I said, per these regulations also, this step should not be skipped at all, because we have been sitting on the other side as well, where a postdoc position have gone wrong and positions were not necessarily advertised, and then there is some mediation that we should do at the end of the day. So as I said, all positions should be advertised, and it should be advertised for a period of at least 3 weeks, and it should be advertised on an internal and an external platform. By internal, we mean Stellenbosch University platforms. For example, many advertisements are placed on our DRD website. And then external platforms would be your LinkedIn and all other professional bodies, websites, and mailing distribution list where these positions can be advertised. Our office do have a template available that we can share with you. This template is available from our office, and also when you go to our website, you can view some of these advertisements that has already been already gone through our office for approval, and they are now available on our websites. And just there's special clauses for these advertisements. One of the clauses, it specifically states that postdocs are not appointed as employees, as you can see there on the screen, and these fellowships are tax-free. So that's a clause that we put in there just to align ourselves with the SARS binding class ruling. And as I said, these advertisements then should run for a period of 3 weeks. So these, when you place these advertisements, the information or the applications will go directly to the host or the host department. So this process, we'll move on to the next screen, the process of the interview and selection will take place at the host department. People often get this confused. The interview, the selection, as well as the award of the successful candidate, that should come from the host and the host department. The interview panel should consist of at least 2 people. So we can be the host and a third person at the department, the HOD or colleague in that specific field. Can assist with the interview and selection of the postdoctoral candidate. Once that is finalized, the host or the person, the assistant at the department or the staff member will then inform us of the successful candidate. And this is then where, when you submit this successful candidate to us, you should share with us the postdoc information sheet. Everything is available on our postdoc SharePoint link, and we will share that with you as well. So this postdoc information sheet is very important to us, and it also states the document that you should attach when you appoint this postdoc. One other specific clause in the advertisement that I just left out is that when you apply or you appoint for a postdoc, the candidate should have received his or her PhD degree within the past 5 years. So we no longer accept new appointments for postdocs that have received their PhD degree, or whose PhD degree is older than 5 years. That is also in terms of the SARS binding class ruling, because these people are viewed as early career researchers. Okay, once you submit the postdoc information sheet to us, we will then issue you the postdoc with an award letter for South Africans, and international candidates will receive an award and a visa letter. The visa letter is sometimes also called the letter of invitation. And then the international postdoc will then proceed to the relevant consulate or the mission the closest to them to then apply for their visitor's visa endorsed for research. Very important is that postdocs are no longer employed on scarce skills visas. We do have some postdocs still on study visas endorsed for research because some of the missions issue these study visas to them, but the preferred visa for international postdocs is your visitor's visa endorsed for research. Just moving forward, then we'll give the next step would be the onboarding and the registration process. And I will now give over to Sindiswa just to share that process with you.
Good day, colleagues. So in the past, we were using TerraTem to do the registration. So we had that form on the left where the postdoc used to fill it in and then they complete it and then they return it back to us. So now that process has been scrapped because now we are on the new system, which is Sun Student. So on the Sun Student at the moment, the 2024 applications are closed. So what's happening currently is that every intake of the postdoc from now on, they will have to apply for the 2025 postdoc. And then once that has been done, and then on my side, I'll have to change the application to the year 2024. Just letting you colleagues to not be alarmed. It's just that there is a cut-off on the Sun Student system that every year the applications after March, it's the new cycle needs to start for the new year. So with that, postdocs, we know that postdocs are being registered the whole year, but then because of the system now, they'll have to apply for the 2025, and then I changed the application to 2024. I hope that won't cause any confusion, but we'll take questions if there's any. So on our website, we try by all means to update it to have information. So at the moment we have how to appoint a postdoc and some few documents like MOAs, payment form, IntelliMali information. And if anyone has suggestion on how we can improve to have more information on our website, they are more than welcome to help us to improve.
Like Sindiswa just said now, colleagues, we have this information available on our SharePoint link. It's not available on our website yet, but the link to this SharePoint site is available on the website, and you need your SU logins to log in and then get information on this whole process. So this is the appointment process that are outlined there. All of the documents are there available. We aim to improve it regularly. So you can either use the QR code or you can use the link to access the information that will assist you with the appointment of a new postdoctoral research fellow or a postdoc, as we call it, on a daily basis. And then, as I said, the postdoc that we have now concluded the process of appointing a postdoc. In conclusion for that part is we are available to assist you throughout the process. We are here to screen your advertisements. Sometimes our office do assist with funding applications as well. So we are here as an office to support you throughout the process. Should there be any inquiries or any suggestions for improvements, we are open to assist you throughout the process to appoint a postdoc. Currently, I just like to share with you there's some bits, as we said. The NRF postdoctoral call is now open. We have shared the call last week, so postdocs are more than welcome to apply. Just bear in mind that Stellenbosch University can only submit 30 applications to the NRF, but the applications are open. And then we just going to the right, IntelliMali is the service provider that we use to pay postdocs. I've recently discovered there is an IntelliMali app. So instead of the postdocs going to the website, they can now conveniently download this app on their cell phones, and they can view their monthly stipends, or they can view their payment sheets, I would say, on the IntelliMali app. Again, just another bit is the postdoc accommodation for international postdocs. We work very closely with the International Office to secure accommodation for international postdocs. It is, however, the responsibility of the postdoc and the host to make sure that when people arrive, or when postdocs arrive from abroad, that they have secured accommodation for themselves. There's not always availability at the International Office, but they do refer you to various websites where you can secure accommodation for these postdocs, but it will ultimately remain the responsibility of the postdoc to secure accommodation for him or her. Then our aim for this year is 400 postdoctoral research fellows. So if you have, we will gladly assist you with the appointment process of the postdocs in order to receive our goal of 400 postdocs at Stellenbosch University. All queries you can direct to postdocinfo@sun.ac.za. We have also shared our personal email addresses. You're more than welcome to contact us via Teams, or set up a meeting with us, or send us an email so that we can assist you with any inquiry that you might have. And then just a QR code where you can get all the information via SharePoint, and all of our information on how to appoint a postdoc is available on that link. And then finally, colleagues, the floor is open. Should you have any questions, we are here. Thank you.
I have a question, please.
Yes, please, Prof.
It's George speaking from accountancy. So, sorry, I joined a bit late, so I hope I haven't missed something.
No, not at all.
So, I have appointed a postdoc as a host last year, and it was from the 1st of October to the 1st of October, and I received the funding for a 2-year period. And then for the second year, it is, based on satisfactory progress, of course. But now the postdoc, he already managed to submit, not submit, he submitted one article, and the other article is nearly finished to be submitted. So my question is, and according to my understanding, that was the minimum requirement is normally 2 articles per year. But now, at what stage, when do I need to, or how do I need to apply for the second year of funding? Do I need to apply again? Do I just submit progress reports? Or because this specific postdoc is someone from Zim, so he mentioned to me that he needs about 3 months for his visa requirements.
Yes, thank you, George, for that question. That is correct. Usually in month 9, you can submit the progress report to us, depending on the funder. If the funder was through Prof. Moyo's office or through our office, you can submit the progress report directly to us. We will then review the report, and then we will then issue you or the postdoc with a visa letter so that he can apply again for his visa. So there's no need for advertisements process again. It's just a progress report, and then we will issue the visa letter from our side for the renewal process.
But extension MOA needs to be completed.
Yes, if the original MOA didn't cover the 2-year period, we will then send in an extension MOA as well as a new payment form for the 2nd year of the fellowship.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the MOU was only for 1 year.
Okay, so we will then issue an extension MOA and a payment form that should be completed. Thank you for that, Cindy, as well.
I have another question, if I may.
Yes, yes.
So let's say one receive I received the subcommittee A funding that was 250, and then I received another 100,000 from Professor Moyo. But let's say that for the 2nd term, I don't receive 100,000, and I only have a 250. Is it possible to appoint the postdoc for another year and then make an agreement with him that we will try to apply for funding for the additional 100? Or do you need to have all the funding in place before you start the 2nd term?
George, if you and the postdoc come to arrangement that would be in order, yes, by all means, we can proceed with the 250 and then just put in the MOA that the other 100,000 rand will be secured during the course of the year. So that is something, an additional clause that you can just work into the extension memorandum of agreement.
Yeah, it's obviously not ideal. I'm just thinking if I'm unable to secure the funding, what are my options?
But George, I think if you already did the two articles, that should be in order for the 100,000 rand top up to be renewed for another year.
Okay.
Yes, it should be in order.
Okay, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Great. Yes.
Yes. Good afternoon, and thank you again for the info. I just have one question. Maybe a loaded question. It's about the host department. So with the interviewing, it states there that it must be done by the host department. Now, in our case, the host is affiliated with faculty, but we aren't an academic department. So I would like to know what implication that has for the appointment process. Must the candidate be affiliated with a faculty department? Or can they be with a non-academic department where the academic host is affiliated with faculty?
Thank you for that question. Brains indeed loaded. I'm going to the postdoc policy now, and it says here the host of a postdoctoral fellow is an academic staff member in a relevant academic department, center, or institute.
So yes, the host, the sponsor, or supervisor
yes.
is, but the department where they will be working out of is not.
Department academic department.
And that's the one thing that's not clear in policy, whether
in the policy it says
that the academic host must be.
Yeah, and it just says the department is an academic department, division, center, or institute. I don't think that should be a problem as long as the host is linked to an academic department. I'm just thinking now in terms of the outputs, how that will work. But I think we did have an appointment previously at the sports school or the sports center. Brent, let me just confirm that and get back to you. I'm just concerned about at the end of the day, if it comes to the output and publications, who's going to take the credit for that and how it will work.
Yeah,
I think that's more, we should work it backwards rather. So let me look into that one and then we can provide you feedback. But when should that postdoc start, Brent?
We still need to set an exact date of when we want to, but it is for this first part of the year.
First part of the year.
Yeah, so let's just say by mid-year,
By
we want
mid-year. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
May at soonest.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Brent, we will get back to you on that one. I will just speak to my colleagues dealing with the publications also just to get their input as to how we can assist with that one. Obviously, I think the credit should come to your office. That's what you want ideally, and not to the academic department.
That's
Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Brent. We'll provide you feedback on that one. Okay, colleagues, any other questions? If not, we will end this session and we will share the slides as well as the recording with you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.